Hola y bienvenidos a este video. I'm going to try to explain to you accent marks in Spanish. This is something that it seems like it's really hard, but it's actually not too hard once you know just a couple of rules, and then you can properly accent mark just about any word in Spanish if you can remember these rules. This is something I learned in college. It took me like halfway through my Spanish classes. I was like, why didn't I learn this like a year ago or something, or 2 years ago? So I'm going to explain this to you probably in 3 or 4 little chunks in one video, but 3 or 4 chunks so that you can put it all together and make hopefully an understanding of it. First, what we're going to do is look at, I'm going to give you one rule and look at and show you how to accent mark these words. Anytime you have a word and the stressed syllable on that word comes 3 or more syllables back from the end of the word, there's going to be a written accent mark there. I have 6 words here on the board to show you an example, or just to show you what I mean by this. So first we'll look at the word fantastico. Fantastico. When you hear me say the word fantastico, you can hear that I'm stressing one of the syllables on the word. It happens to be this A right here, fantastico. So if I were to take this word and break it down into its various syllables, you have fantastico. If I count backwards from the end, 1, 2, 3, the stress is over the third syllable or more back, so I need to put a written accent mark there. Fantastico. The next word down is estúpido. Estúpido. Again, if I break the word down into its syllables, I have estúpido. Notice that the TU is the third or more syllable from the end, so there has to be a written accent mark there. The next word, Wednesday, miércoles. Miércoles. The E is the third or more syllable back, accent mark over it. The word énfasis. Énfasis is énfasis. It's 3 syllables. The stress is over the E, which is the third or more back. There's going to be a written accent mark there. Two more. Murcielago. Murcielago. It means bat. Murcielago. Okay. So the stress is over that E. Murcielago. It's the third or more back. You're going to put an accent mark there. One more. This is a command. If you've been learning commands yet, you might be familiar with this. So it's a command for ponerse. It's a new ustedes command. And there's also a pronoun los, which could be like los zapatos, for example. So it's a command saying put them on. Pónganselos. When you do something like with commands, just say that first word by itself together. Pongan, pongan, pongan. The stress is over the O. So pónganselos. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 3 or more back. It's 3 or more back. It actually happens to be on the 4th syllable back. So pónganselos. There's the accent mark there over the O. So again, I'll repeat this rule one more time. If you have a Spanish word, the stress of the word falls 3 or more syllables back from the end of the word, there is going to be a written accent mark there. All right, with the rest of these examples I'm going to show you, you have to start asking yourself, does this word end in a vowel, an N, or an S? Vowel, N, S. Because that's going to be very important in distinguishing whether or not this word should have an accent mark or not. So I'm going to put 7 words on the board here for you. None of them have accent marks right now. We're going to put some on a couple of the words in a minute. What we need to do is look at if the word ends in a vowel N or S. That's what we're going to do right now. If it does, if the word ends in a vowel N or S, and the stress of the word falls on the last syllable, there's going to be a written accent mark there. If the word ends in a vowel N or S, and the stress falls on the second to last syllable, there is no written accent mark there. So here's the word noche, for example. Noche, noche, noche. It ends in a vowel. The stress is over the O on noche. Since it ends in a vowel, the stress is on the first to last syllable. No accent mark. The word below it, perro, 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 ends in a vowel. The stress is on the first to last syllable. No accent mark. Libro, libro, libro. The stress is over the I. It ends in a vowel. There's no written accent mark because it's on the first to last syllable. And then we have hueso, hueso, which means bone. Hueso. That ends in a vowel. The stress is over the E on hueso, so there's no written accent mark. Now, up here on the other one, right now I have hablo, which means I speak. Ends in a vowel. The stress is over the A. Hablo, hablo. Okay. Now I can change this. I can say hablo, hablo. The stress is over the O. It ends in a vowel. You put an accent mark on it. Notice the difference in the words. Hablo means he or she spoke. Hablo means I speak. Bajo, you guys know, means short. I have the word bajo here, it means short. If I put an accent mark over it, which I can, it means like go down like a river or something. Now it's bajo. It ends in a vowel. The stress is over the O. There has to be a written accent mark there. This next one is not a verb to show you just something else, I guess. So we have the word marathon. It needs an accent mark. It ends in a vowel, an N, or an S. The word is pronounced maraton, maraton. So since it's pronounced maraton, the stress is over the very last syllable, and it ends in a vowel N or S, there has to be a written accent mark there. So I'm going to repeat this for you one more time. If the word that you have, or the verb, whatever you have, ends in a vowel N or S, and the stress of the word is on the last syllable along with that vowel N or S, there must be a written accent mark. If the word ends in a vowel N or S, and the stress is on the first to last syllable, there is no written accent mark on the word. Those are those two rules. Here comes some more. Okay, so here comes the third part, if you want to call it that. So we looked at words that end in vowel N or S. Now we're going to look at words that end in anything except for a vowel N or S, okay? If you have a word that ends in anything but a vowel N or S, and the stress of the word is on the very last syllable, there's not going to be a written accent mark. If the word ends in anything but a vowel N or S, and the stress is on the first to last syllable, there is going to be a written accent mark on that first to last syllable. So let's look at the word difícil, for example. Difícil. Okay, say the word to yourself, difícil, difícil. It ends in something other than a vowel N or S, and the stress is on the second syllable. There has to be a written accent mark there. Let's look at the next word. We have Cesspit. Cesspit. By hearing me say it, you can hear that the stress is over that first E. It ends in something other than a vowel N or S, so there must be a written accent mark there. Next word we have is arbol. Arbol. It's two syllables, ends in something other than a vowel N or S, and the stress is on that first to last syllable. Arbol. Arbol must have a written accent mark. Let's look at the next one. We have cantar. Cantar. Hopefully you're hearing that the stress of the word is on the last syllable, and it ends in something other than a vowel N or S. No accent mark. Next we have reloj. Reloj means clock. The stress is on the last syllable. It ends in something other than a vowel N or S. No accent mark. The next one is chofer. Chofer. Hopefully you can hear the stress is on the O. It ends in something other than a vowel N or S. Accent mark. And then lastly we have fácil. Fácil. It ends in something other than a vowel N or S. The stress is over the A. Fácil. There must be a written accent mark. So I'm going to repeat these two rules for you one more time. Okay, so I just got 7 words here on the board. I'm going to say them for you, and maybe as I'm going, decide accent mark, no accent mark, and then write it down and tell you what the answers are. So the first one's going to be canté, canté. Dos, angélicas, angélicas. Tres, frijol, frijol. Cuatro, correr, correr. 5, esdrújula, esdrújula. 6, andén, andén. Y 7, cortés, cortés. Take a second and see if you have the right answer. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the rules and which ones they apply to here. If you have a word or a verb in Spanish, the stress is over the third or more syllable back. There must be a written accent mark. That rule applies to 2 of these words, angélicas and esdrújula. It's the third or more back. Put an accent mark there. Next rule, if your word ends in a vowel N or S and the stress is on the very last syllable, there must be a written accent mark. That covers the word canté, cortés, and andén. If the word ends in a vowel N or S and the stress is on the syllable before the end, there's no accent mark, and I don't have any examples of that on the board here. Next rule, if the word ends in anything but a vowel N or S and the stress is on the last syllable, no accent mark. That covers frijol and correr. And then the other rule is, although it's not applied here on these words, is if the word ends in a vowel, anything but a vowel N or S, and the stress is on the first to last syllable, there will be a written accent mark. So those are the main rules for doing accent marks. I'm sorry for the length of this video. It's just it's somewhat complicated, but if you can remember these rules, accent marks are really easy in Spanish. If you need some more clarification or more practice, I can probably do that for you. Let me know, and we'll try and do that as soon as I can. Thanks for checking this out.